Hey guys, Cold.brew here. Welcome to another Racial Legends video. Guys, this one will be a video guide, a showcase for RECTOR DRATH. She's one of the newer epic champions that were introduced to this game. She's a support champion in the Knights Revenant faction. Gonna go over the gearing that I have for her, her skills, her masteries, and just showcase her in general where you can actually use this champion, who is very unique in what she provides to the team, but certainly she is considered one of the top tier supports for I would say both dungeons, but she can also be used for some PvP teams. So let's go over her skills very quickly before we go over to the gearing and why we gear her like that. So A1 attacks one enemy, 35% chance of placing a 50% decrease attack debuff for 2 turns. This goes all the way to 50% plus 5% for masteries. Pretty good chance, but it's only one hitting attack. So if you want to use her in the clan boss for this, just specifically the attack down, then you'll probably need some kind of counter attack in there as well, just to get her chances higher for that counter attack going. So A2 Necro Mutation heals all allies by 20% of this champion's max HP. After healing, place a perfect veil buff for 2 turns on all allies with full HP. Place a 15% continuous heal buff for 1 turn instead on all allies with less than 100% HP. So if you guys don't know already what perfect veil does on its own as a buff to whoever has it, it gives a 15% damage reduction to damage taken, and if it's a normal veil buff, then it's a 7.5% damage reduction to all AoE damage dealt to that champion. So you cannot single target hit that champion, but if it's an AoE, it's going to be reduced. I think you can only single target that champion if everybody has a perfect veil. So, Spirit Form revives a single ally with 60% HP and fills their turn by 60%. This is so good. Place a perfect veil buff on them for 3 turns. This is also so good because you just revive your champion, hide them, and also give them the opportunity to come back and fight with that 60% turn boost. Then Master of Ghosts is her passive. Whenever an ally under a veil or perfect veil buff gets a turn, heals them for 10% of their max HP. Also, increase the resistance of allies under veil or perfect veil buffs by 50, which is a pretty big number. Will only increase resistance once per ally if there are multiple rectors on the team. So that's cool. Her aura is for Doom Tower, giving resist to all your allies. So that's cool if you want to use her to just basically give an 105 resistance to your whole team just when they have a perfect veil buff on them. So in terms of gearing, the way that I gear RECTOR DRATH, I think she needs to be the one surviving the most through your team. She doesn't really have any other way of healing other than her A2 and her passive. So I would say I built her this way so that she can survive a few hits and also provide the utility that she can by reviving any of your dead allies that just happen to die. It's on a 4 turns cooldown, but still that single revive can actually help you get maybe those 3 stars in the faction wars that you need. So I went with Stalwart, so she receives way less damage from AoE attacks. This is very useful for PvP purposes as well. If you want to use her for PvP, the Stalwart set is so good in terms of surviving the big hits from the AoE nukers. And then speed set, just because I wanted her to be at above 200 speed is what I wanted. So 52,000 health there, and then went for over 200 accuracy, which is what is needed for all dungeons and faction wars as well. If you want to go Doom Tower and apply some debuffs, then this needs to go over 300 if you want to go all the way to the end of hard Doom Tower. But because she doesn't really have any debuffs except for her A1, I just focused for that 200 accuracy for faction wars purposes. For Doom Tower, I don't really use her. I don't really depend on this A1 to apply the decrease attack. But for other areas, just 200 is sufficient. It's honestly very easy to get with just the Great Hole bonus, some masteries, and then also, a banner at 6 stars gives you 96. So it's usually banner amulet, the banner amulet masteries plus the Great Hole, and that's it. You've got 200 and you're ready to go. So masteries, how did I build RECTOR DRATH? So I went the normal War Master route over in the offense tree. Then I went over the support tree just because she needs that extra chance to apply her decreased attack, and also just the Master Hexer so that she can extend the duration of those debuffs. So if you want to use a different build on her, more for PvP purposes, you can actually go more into the support tree, gaining even lasting gifts here, and maybe forgoing the War Master here and actually picking up timely intervention, so you can actually get multiple turns throughout the fight and get those dead allies revived as soon as possible. So this is how I've built her. Let's go and check her out. I think we've got the Night Revenant opened for today, so let's go in there first and check her. And I won't go to stage 21 because that's going to take a little bit longer than I want to. Let's just go to stage 20. We're actually going to see her in action here. I have her here with plus some other legendaries and supports. But what you want to see is the support that she provides in terms of healing to whoever gets low, but also to whoever has that perfect veil buff. So there's a perfect veil buff. Look at the heals that everybody's getting there. 4,000. 4,000 there per turn. It's just an amazing healing together with Doom Priest. Both of them synergize in both. One of them is removing the debuffs and the other one is giving heals, but also Doom Priest gives heals whenever she gets a turn. So it's just fantastic in terms of providing that utility that you're looking for from a support. She becomes even greater. She becomes an even greater carry in stage 21 when you really need a reviver. If you don't have any other reviver, then she was the solution that was provided in terms of providing a new epic for revive, and especially for faction wars. She's just the key there. So she'll soon revive my Soulless here so that I can finish it on auto on 3 stars, and everybody should be healed to full by both having those 2 strong supports and then the rest being damage champion. So this wave is usually difficult. That's where I mostly farm. I farm stage 20 instead of 21. So having both Rector and Doom Priest is just a great combo to keep everybody alive and keep this farming without me having to worry if this is gonna finish or not. You see those heals every time. Every time somebody gets a turn and they have the perfect veil, you see that big heal coming in, 4,000, and it's just, I think it's just great. There's no way around that. Having such a great heal in her kit and also providing that constant amount of perfect veils to everyone. She synergizes also with Thea because Thea applies the perfect veil on herself. So even if she doesn't apply, then Thea applies it on herself. That's cool. Okay, that's done. Let's go over to a normal dungeon. I would say in terms of dungeons, she can be the greatest carry for the Ice Golem 20. So for Ice Golem 20, what you really want out of your team is basically having somebody to provide that decreased attack on the enemy. Here she's going to be weak affinity, so she'll be targeted, but we're fine because our team is basically trying to do this run as fast as possible. So having Rector Drath focused, or maybe having her getting the big hits from all enemies is what we want instead of everybody else getting attacked. So here, this team is basically just cruising through in about 40 seconds. We should be over on the boss stage. And the most important thing is landing the decreased attack. Although we're going to be weak affinity, we also have the revive opportunity there. So we can revive maybe somebody that dies first. I think probably Renegade's going to die first here, but we already have that decreased attack on the ads. What we really want the decreased attack is on the boss. But we need a perfect veil now on our team from Rector. There it is. So it gives us that 15% damage reduction from the big boss. We also need a decreased attack, but she needs to get her auto attack in. Look at those Royal Guards. Look at that. That's basically reduced damage taken because of that perfect veil just by itself without having any other buffs. If we still had the strengthen, then yes, we would survive much better. Look at that. Boom. Everybody dead, but because we also have Lydian there, everybody revived. And we will be getting some heals here. Wow, look at that. We got nuked. We would be getting some heals there from the perfect veil. So yeah, fantastic in terms of providing some utility in terms of healing. But here, this maybe wasn't the best showcase of her being able to survive that big nuke. Remember, you have to kill the ads also. But this is the team that I usually use, except for RECTOR DRATH, to farm Ice Golems 20. And now for PvP, we're going to look at RECTOR DRATH being in a more defensive kind of team where speed doesn't really matter. The enemy team will go first. Why we need RECTOR DRATH is to provide that perfect veil on everybody, provide that extra amount of support. And this team will be challenging for us because there is a Madame Series against us. She'll be removing buffs, but also we're going to have some nuking coming from the enemy Cadraphone. Cadraphone goes so well with Rector Drought because he benefits from having a perfect veil additional to what he can apply to himself. So if you got Rector Drought, then she will be a great support. So let's go and see how this fight turns out. I just want to see. There we go. The enemy team goes first. Good thing we got that Madame Series frozen. There's the first kill there. Rector Drought unfortunately is provoked here. There's the healing there on Cadraphone that he got a turn from the perfect veil. Let's get a kill here with Mountain King. There's the there's the revive from her. Let's just do A1 here instead of A3. A3 would have finished this too early. So here we'll protect our allies just in case anything happens. The perfect veil just gives us the healing also. Remember that. So now we'll go with the AoE with Cadraphone just to clear up the enemies and then finish it off. Oh, it wasn't double tag because she didn't have a buff. And now we'll finish it off. There we go. Okay, that's it. So she can actually be used in more defensive teams just because she provides healing, additional resistance when an ally has a perfect veil, and also just a revive when something really, really bad happens to one of your team members. It's used in more stall teams, but it doesn't have the accuracy that I had, for example, and she doesn't have so low HP. You will have built her with way higher HP, maybe around 80,000 HP at the minimum, I would say, for her to be actually useful for PvP purposes. So this was the showcase for Rector Drought, guys. What do you think of her? How do you use her? Do you build her differently? I want to see that in the comments down below. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. See ya.